Sketchbook tours are by far the most requested content that I get on my channel, but they're not really an easy thing to complete. Sketchbooks can take a long time to finish, but thank you for being patient with me, and I finally present the tour of my 15th sketchbook. Hello, and welcome back to my channel. Hope you're doing well. You read the title right, it's true. Everyone celebrate, it's time for another sketchbook. Sketchbook tours are by far the most popular content on my channel. It's by far the most requested content on my channel, and I wish I could provide them for you guys more often, but I'm so excited to be sharing this sketchbook with you. I really like all of the drawings in here. I love them. I love the sketchbook. And speaking of this sketchbook, I actually made this myself, and I made a tutorial about how I made it, so if you want to make something like this, I will leave that linked in the iCard for you. I made it out of a popcorn box and washi tape and literally random stuff that I found around my house. So it was actually a very spontaneous thing that I made, but I really like it. I'm so attached to it. A part of me is really, really sad to see it go because I just fell in love with a sketchbook, and I think a part of it is because I made it myself. So I literally created this sketchbook from scratch and then drew in it rather. So because of that, oh, can I open it? Am I allowed to do that? Oh, worm. And without further ado, let's get started. I know you've all been very eager for me to do this video, and I've been very eager to make it. My name, my contact information that I blocked out because my phone number changed, and also you guys will be trying to call me. This piece of tape, don't know why that's here. And then this I think is from my desk. It was like a sticker on my desk from when it was being built, but then whoever built it didn't take the sticker off. I garbage picked my desk. I found it at the dumpster in my apartment complex. I made a video drawing this. I always like to make introductory pages for all of my sketchbooks. I think it's a nice way to welcome you to the sketchbook. A lot of people get very anxious about drawing on the first page, and a lot of people skip it or try and make it look messy, but I don't really like that. That doesn't really work for me. I always like to make it look a little bit nicer. Okay, Leo. I haven't been drawing the... Leo. What? I haven't been drawing them a lot lately, so it's always fun seeing drawings of them. I always like to make a list of goals in the beginning of my sketchbook, and then at the end of the sketchbook, I'll make that same list and check off the ones that I completed. In this sketchbook, I completed absolutely nothing. I kind of forgot about my goals list, so I didn't accomplish any of them, pretty much. This is my OC, Arietta, one of my OCs. I have a video series looking at my old art, and in one of those, I saw her wearing an outfit similar to this a lot. So I thought it'd be fun to try and redesign it, and then swatching some of the Copics. The paper in this sketchbook is the crescent render paper, so I was able to use markers on both sides. And so at the beginning I was using markers on pretty much every single page in the sketchbook. Leo, I swear to God. Later on I stopped doing that because I started just to feel pressure to make more finished stuff on every page, but I kind of wish I used markers a little bit more. This was when they did that live stream to reveal Galarian Ponyta, and I wanted to watch the live stream, but it wasn't a thing that you could just watch. So I was drawing it while it was on. I actually watched most of it. It was a 24-hour live stream, and I watched like 19 to 20 hours of it, so. This is Marnie, also from Pokemon. This was before Sword and Shield came out, but as you'll see later on, when it does come out, I'm obsessed with drawing the characters. I still haven't figured out how to draw a lot of them, but when Marnie was first revealed, I loved her, so I just had to draw her. And here's Galarian Ponyta itself. I call it a cotton candy horse because it is a cotton candy horse. I really liked it ever since it was first revealed, and then people were saying that it looked like a My Little Pony, and now I can't unsee it. It totally does though. I really like it though. Not a biggest fan of Galarian Rapidash, but I like Galarian Ponyta a lot. This is another video that I made. This was a sketch vlog for Halloween. Over the past few years of my life, I've been having a hard time getting in the Halloween spirit because, like, I'm not a kid anymore, so I don't really like go trick-or-treating. I don't have friends to have a Halloween party with. I don't really do a whole lot for Halloween, so this was really nice to do, just to try and get in that spirit a little bit more. And also I spilled coffee because it wouldn't be in Oliver's sketchbook if I didn't spill coffee in it. Here we're still kind of trying to test out different materials and figure out what works in this sketchbook. It's really advertised as being used for markers, but they also say you can use anything in it. It really depends on how you use the materials. For all the materials that I've used in here, it's definitely possible to use a variety. You just need to really learn how to work around some of the faults that this paper can have. Here's some Posca pens. These are with microns, and then this is a ballpoint pen. These are my OCs, Luca and Rory. They're always fun to draw. Here I was thumbnailing for a different video. If you are new to my channel, I make OC videos every single month, so each month I will talk about a different OC, and this was for my OC Aurora. This is actually supposed to be one spread, and then I got some black paper and I was just sketching on it randomly at my desk, and so I just taped it in here. She's a character that I've never revealed her name, but you'll find out about her at some point. And then here's Mabel. I actually took a picture of this and posted it to my Instagram, but I inverted the colors, and so then the first one you saw just looks like it's on white paper, but then you swipe and it's actually on black paper. I want to practice drawing with black paper more. Here I was sad. I was feeling really dysphoric about myself, and so I made this. I don't make vent art super often, but whenever I do, it's very cathartic and I enjoy it. And then here I wrote the word hate a bunch of times, because it really be like that sometimes, man. Here's an OC of mine, Noe. Most of what I draw is my OCs. She's one of the characters in my soon-to-be webcomic. She's one of the main characters. She's a jackalope. I was also sketching with Crayola crayons because, like many artists, I have tons of them, but I never use them, so I wanted to try and put them to use a little bit more. I haven't sketched with them in a while. This is what I normally use them for. It's really nice to loosen up with them, but I need to get back to doing that. I also love designing Pokemon trainer characters. Every single time I play through one of the games, I design a character kind of based off of that playthrough. Like, I'll design a character for that game and then I'll give them the team that I use. So this was a character that I was making for Pokemon Platinum. I work on his design a little bit more. Here, more crayon sketches. This is Rory. I wanted to do kind of like a movement thing. I think I should have planned it out a little bit better, because if you think of this as like the starting point and this is the ending point, the movements don't make a whole lot of sense, but I would like to revisit something like this. This was quite fun to do. Carol and Tuesday fan art, because I watched that anime and I loved it. I like Tuesday, she's my favorite character, but I also like Carol. I need to make some proper fan art of Carol. Haven't really done that. I wasn't expecting this to become one of my favorite shows so easily, but it did. If you haven't seen it, I can definitely recommend it. Here's that character again. This isn't his final design, but my Pokemon Platinum character, he doesn't have a name. And then each of my characters, I give them one partner Pokemon, just choosing a random one from the party that I had in those games. And so this one, I picked Riolu. I feel a little weird because furries have kind of claimed the Lucario line, but I don't care, I still like it. Here I wanted to practice backgrounds a little bit more and like a variety of backgrounds. I feel like every time I draw a background, it's like a bedroom, a living room, a kitchen, and so I decided to draw a background that isn't in a house, just a random mall scene. I added just some solid colors because I didn't have time to make it a full illustration, but I wanted to add something just to help you figure out what the heck is happening. I really like the way Rory turned out. I think she turned out quite nice. I really love this spread. Both of these were supposed to be warm-up sketches, and then the next thing I knew, I spent hours on them. So they didn't really turn out to be warm-up sketches. I posted this spread on Instagram, and a lot of you guys liked it too. Here there's actually, can I peel it apart? I think this is as far as I can go. There's a rougher sketch underneath, and then I put tracing paper on top, refined it a little bit more, and then put these pink post-it notes underneath it. And then I went over top with a white gel pen. And then here is quite literally more warm-up sketches. But I really like the way that this spread looks. I think it's quite nice. Here's Freed from Fairy Tail. I love Fairy Tail. It's my favorite anime ever. And he's one of my favorite characters. Doesn't get a lot of love, in my opinion. I think he deserves much more love than he gets. I actually drew this page when I drew it, because I went in order, but then later on I became a lot less strict with myself about completing things in order. When I drew this one, I think I got to like the halfway point in my sketchbook, and then I came back and filled this page in, so you can kind of see how my style has changed a little bit. There's slightly more proportionally accurate faces here. I still draw faces like this sometimes where there's a lot more exaggerated proportions, but lately I have been drawing more of this, which I've been quite fond of. Here are some OCs. Aspen, Milo, Bishop. Bishop was the last OC that I talked about, and then this month there is going to be the final video for their little story. Sorry, my microphone got cut off. There are two characters that are more minor characters in their story, so they're getting mushed into one video, but that will be the conclusion of this little group, and then after that will be my webcomic characters, so stay tuned for that. And this I'm really happy with. I wanted to play around with lighting a little bit, so that's what I did here. It was harder to do traditionally because stuff like this I normally do digitally, and it's a lot easier to get the effect that you're going for, but for a first time doing something like this traditionally, I really like it. I think I did a good job with that. Here's more Pokemon. I think this was still before the games were officially released, but the whole Pokedex got leaked like a week or something before. A lot of people have feelings about that. I personally like it because I like to plan my teams ahead of time before playing a game, so this let me really do that. And so I was just drawing some of the Pokemon that I like. Indeedee, I believe it's its name. This is the male version. I like him and relate to him because he's small and cute, but on the inside just really angry. Then here's one of the fossil Pokemon. The fossil Pokemon are definitely interesting in these games, and I can't really speak for the other three, but this one really grew on me. I love him. He's just so goofy looking. I love him a lot. More Pokemon. I always get their names mixed up, all of the ones in this line. Hatcham, I think this one is. And then Appleton. I love Appleton. He became my Shield character's partner Pokemon, which you will see when we get there. I also made a video with this. I think the whole point of this was to just test out how gouache works in this sketchbook, and this is another example of you can use any materials in this sketchbook, you just need to find a way to work around it. Wet mediums in this sketchbook don't really get along super well, and so if you use gouache more like an acrylic paint, it works out nice, and then if you do water it down, you have to apply it kind of thinly, because if you take like globs of water, like if I took this and then dumped it on the thing, it wouldn't go very well because it's just too much for the paper to handle all at once. And I use India ink later in the sketchbook, and it's the same thing there. So it just takes a lot of trial and error to figure out different materials in the sketchbook, but I do think that this is good paper for all around stuff, but mostly markers. I would recommend it most for markers. And here, this is, I believe, when Pokemon Sword and Shield actually came out. So I drew Sonia, I love her, she's my wife. Raihan, love him, he's my husband. I still haven't figured out how to draw either of them in my art style, I'm still trying to figure that out. And then in the background we have some rough sketches. I think that's Gloria, the female player character, and then Bead Sonia. I know what things are. Here's Marnie and Piers. I still want to make proper fan art of Piers because I really like him, but this is the only drawing I've ever done of him so far. And then here's that one scene in the game. It's not really a spoiler, it's just a really minor scene. I think it's in the post game, I don't even know. It's just Marnie of smiling and then she gets embarrassed. It's adorable, so I just drew that. Really like these characters, I definitely want to draw them more. Here was around Christmas time. I was flying back to see friends and family in New York because that is where I am originally from, and then I was drawing on the airplane. I wrote "I'm not a creep" because I was drawing random people on the plane and my sister was calling me a creep. And then this is actually a drawing of my sister. They're very rough and very sketchy, but I do really like them. This one I got real gutsy with. I had to turn around to look at the guy. Here is my OC Mabel, my OC Aspen, Bugbot, Radstark, Bugbot, and then my dog making out with her stuffed sheep. Because I asked my sister what I should draw, and that was the result of that. This I got a new Posca pen, and I really liked the color, so I was sketching with that. I do really like the way that this one came out. I don't know what it is about it, it's just... Ooh. Here, I think I was trying to thumbnail Aspen's video, but I don't remember. Here is my dog in a shirt, and then this is a dog that we got for my great-grandma on, I say we, my uncle paid for it, but we drove him to get the dog, and she's a sweetheart. Her name is Moxie, and she's adorable, and she was napping in her bed, so I drew that. This one was originally going to be a much different drawing. It was supposed to be more finished, but I just ran out of time, so I did that. I drew this when I was in Buffalo because Buffalo is a lot colder than Florida, let me say. I think when I flew back to Florida, this was still unfinished and I lost motivation for it because now the weather was really hot, so I just rushed through it. Here, I think I also drew these on the plane. Like I said, I was bouncing back and forth, so they're not in order, really. I got these new fine liners from Bic. They're not waterproof, as you can see. And then another thing that I did is if I had something extra on my palette that I just wanted to get rid of because I didn't want to waste it, I would go to random pages in my sketchbook and throw them on. So here, I believe I got new India inks, and I made an ink wash with it, but I mixed a little bit too much, and so I just threw them here. And that's why it's like bleeding, because I didn't know that they weren't waterproof. Here I started this on the plane and then I finished it I drew Sawyer sleeping on a table, another one of my OCs, because I was very tired. My flight was super, super early. I had to leave, I think at like 3 a.m. and then I didn't fall asleep until like 1, so I was traveling on 1 or 2 hours of sleep. It wasn't good at all. But then also by the time I got home, it was fairly like early in the day, so I didn't want to go to sleep and mess up my sleep schedule. More drawings of Arietta. I've been drawing her a lot more lately. I want to make a story for her so she has a purpose, but for now she's just a character that I draw every now and again. Here I got some new gouache. It's the Winsor & Newton designer gouache, and I love them. They're so nice. Before I was using Reeves, which if you're a beginner to gouache, I would definitely recommend Reeves. They're very inexpensive, and for the price, they're definitely like, they're good quality considering their price. But I was getting to the point where I was improving with gouache and I wanted something a little bit like better, and I wouldn't probably have bought these, but my dad got them for me for Christmas, so I did that. I don't really like this part, but I love the way that the head turned out. It's beautiful, I think. I'm so happy with being able to improve with art, especially with gouache, because I'm normally bad at gouache. Here's a drawing I did for my Help Me Art Dad series. I made the second video, which officially made it a series, and yes, I am planning on continuing this series, but I can't put them out as often as I would like, and as often as you guys would like, because they take a lot of time and energy. Even though it is a lot of hard work, I really like doing these, so I'm looking forward to making another one of these. I have an idea for when the next one is going to be made, so stay tuned. I think here was actually when I was thumbnailing Aspen's video. This is the one that I went with. She has like weaker posture, like she's more hunched over in the official one. Jeremy and Remy, who also are not dating. None of my characters are dating. Don't know why anyone would ever think that any of them are romantically involved at all. Obviously, they're not dating. You guys hate me. Here's the halfway page, or pages. I don't see a lot of people doing this, but it's something that I've always kind of done once I started really using sketchbooks. I'd like to do pages like, I like to do pages like this at the beginning where it's like welcoming. I like to do middle pages, and then I like to do ending pages. It's just helpful for keeping progress tracked. Don't know if that sentence made sense, but I'm rolling with it. Because a lot of the time when you're working in a sketchbook, it's really hard to find motivation, and so I think including this halfway page is a really helpful thing to do, because then you can be like, I'm halfway there! Yeah, these are my webcomic characters. This corner is empty. And then I added a tape here, not because I thought the drawing needed it, well, I mean it did, because they were kind of off-center, but also the signatures, when I sewed them, they were like not tight enough, and so they're very slidey, and so I did this to kind of help keep them close together, since this was a drawing that was spread across the page. Here I was working on my Pokemon Shield character. I have a Pokemon Sword character too, but I don't think I worked on him at all in this sketchbook. I did a lot of that digitally. He also doesn't have a name, but I was thumbnailing some stuff here. I sketched him out, a little Appleton, and I really like him. I really like his color scheme. It's like watermelon, but also not. I was drawing him more. I drew Leon and Sonia for scale. Also, this is here because his elbow was gone. He doesn't have a name either, but I really like him. Here I was drawing the boys posing, as they often do. I still haven't figured out how to draw Raihan, but I'm getting better at drawing Leon. And then here I was thumbnailing pictures for my not dating video, because none of them are dating. Don't know why anyone would ever think that they're romantically involved, because they're not. You guys are silly. Here, I think actually, yeah, I sketched this page first. I went to this bagel shop, coffee shop thing around the corner from my house, because I just wanted to get out and sketch more. And so I did this, and I sketched. And then after I sketched those, I drew this, and then I came home and finished it, which is when I put the ink wash and everything on it. I think it's nice. It was definitely interesting because I don't draw stuff like that normally. I put paint in the background. This is gouache paint, and the only reason I did is because I had paint on my palette and I didn't want to waste it. So I just re-wet the gouache at a later date, and then I added random brushstrokes, and then I drew my webcomic characters on top of it, again, an empty corner. It was fun. I think the drawing itself isn't that great, but the fact that it's on top of paint makes it a lot more interesting, and it hides a lot of the mistakes. Here's my OC Cass. I drew him because it was his birthday. A lot of people really like this one, and I agree. I really like it. And then here's a feather that I found when I was walking my dog, and I thought it was cool, so I brought it inside and I washed it, and then I stuck it in here. I really like the pattern on it and everything, and I think the colors suit him nicely, so I just put that there. Here I meant for this to be a more finished illustration, and then I gave up. I do really like Mabel's face, though, so I think I posted just that on my Instagram. Here I wanted to draw all of my Pokemon trainer characters. So whenever I play through a game, it's not my first time playing the game because I have played all the games at this point, but it's more of just me going back and like replaying them. And here I wanted to draw all of my characters. It extends on to the next spread too. But here is my Ruby character, and then a Diamond, Pearl, Platinum, Black, White, Black 2, Sun, Moon, Ultra Moon, Let's Go Eevee, Sword, and Shield. And yeah, I really like a lot of them, and then the ones that have a black block in the background is the ones that I like the most. I really love this one. She's one of my favorites. So yeah, you notice that some games were skipped. That's because I haven't had the chance to play those ones yet. I really like my sword character too. Toxtricity is his... Toxtricity? I'm really bad at pronouncing things, but this one, I really like this Pokemon. It's definitely one of my favorites from Sword and Shield. I love him. I like this version better than the other one. What are they called? I think this is amped up and then the other one is low-key, but I like the amped up form a little bit more. And then I drew Flygon because I'm playing Omega Ruby also at the moment. I haven't actually played it in a while, but when I do make that character, their partner is gonna be Flygon. So I was just sketching out some Flygons. Here, I can't remember what video it was, but I was watching a video when I was supposed to be going to bed. And I just got inspired to make something with a lot of detail, and so I drew Rory and Mabel. Rory and Mabel not dating. I don't think they're ever gonna wear these outfits again, but it was definitely fun to draw. Here's a spread of Noe. Here I bought one of these backpacks because I needed a new backpack, and they were on sale. If they weren't on sale, I probably wouldn't have bought it. I think they're way too expensive, but here I decided to draw Noe, but just blocking in colors, so there wasn't a sketch, and I just took my marker and I sketched it. It was a fun exercise. I think I want to try and make something more finished by doing that. It'll be a fun experiment. And I just drew a lot of Noe because I love drawing her. And I've been working on my webcomic a lot behind the scenes. So I know you don't see a lot of work in my videos, but I'm having so much fun making it. She's one of my favorites. I can't wait for you guys to read about her. Here's my OC Mabel. I wrote Mabel Darling because that's her name. And then this was her birthday, so I sketched her out. I was thumbnailing some stuff for this finished illustration, and here, for some reason, I couldn't get the toes to point right. Like, I tried drawing them I tried drawing them pointed here, but it just, for some reason, would not work. But I still like the end result. This was with gouache again. And then I had a lot of yellow, like too much yellow, so I just made it yellow in the background. And again, added washi tape just to keep the pages together a little bit more. Here was when I filmed my clothing tutorial, part 1. Probably clothing is a little bit more of a complex subject than the other tutorials that I've made, and so I kind of just went over basics here, and then in my next clothing tutorial, whenever that may be, I'm going to go a little bit more in depth with certain things. Here was when I made that Tokyo Treat video. The people at Tokyo Treat sent me one of their boxes, which was so sweet. They definitely didn't have to do that, but I got one and I really enjoyed it, and I really enjoyed that video. And I lost footage, so you don't actually see me draw these ones, but I really had a fun time with those. And then here's more of those. I liked a lot of the snacks, and a lot of these drawings came out very cute. This one, I had 2 more drawings that were kind of, they were of the same, 2 more Tokyo Treat drawings. I didn't like how either of them was coming out, so this one just turned into a thumbnail page. I thumbnailed Milo's video and Bishop's video, and then some tape because I had some extras. And that's literally it. This is the drawing that you actually see me draw in that Tokyo Treat video. I felt really bad about losing most of the footage, so I drew this one. Here I was sketching Sawyer. He's her older cousin, and I don't draw them interacting super often, so I wanted to draw that. Here, this was actually another page that was in my clothing tutorial. I went over shoes very briefly, but it looked kind of awkward just having that, and I didn't know what else I can make the page into, and so I just, again, took some extra gouache. I had extra gouache on my palette from a few days ago, and I didn't want to waste it, so I sprayed it, painted over it, and then this is done in Posca. I really like this one. This was a picture I found on Pinterest. Another thumbnail page, and for the longest time, it was just the thumbnails, and then when I did this, I went back and edited these blobs, which definitely helped make the page look more interesting. Because just imagine this, but with white spaces instead of these. It definitely helped with that. I was thumbnailing my Death the Kid video and then my 60,000 subscriber picture. And then here I drew myself saying I missed my pencil because I had this pencil for a long ass time and then I lost it and I'm still really emo about it, so let's just move the page. Here I watched Anohana for the first time. It's an incredible anime. What did you do? Here I watched Anohana for the first time and it was an excellent anime. I can definitely recommend. It's something that I've been waiting to watch for a while, but they finally put it on Netflix, so I checked it out and it's incredible. I cried a lot. So I drew Menma, Jintan, and Anaru. I forgot their names for a minute, but I remembered. I really like the way that this one turned out. 10 out of 10. I could recommend anime. Here I wanted to practice drawing backgrounds more. I feel like this is another thing that I draw a lot of, just random outside scene, but these are my webcomic characters. Again, didn't really have time to make a finished illustration, but I really like it. I think it's fun. I like how Delaney drew on those face. Good times, man. Good times. What? Can I'm filming. That's rude. Here I bought new India inks and I made, this was the ink wash that I made actually from that other page. They were on clearance at Michael's, so I bought them. And then I drew my OC Rory just to kind of test them out, both as a liner and as an ink wash. These ones are like just more regular colors and then this one's kind of shimmery. There we go, now you can see it. I really like the colors together and I think it would be fun to try and make an illustration with those three. It would be nice practice too because I don't use ink washes a whole lot. I really like this drawing and then more little doodles of her. I really like all of these drawings actually. I think they're all nice. Here was when I made that video redrawing the old art. This one I might actually take out and hang up on my wall. I'm not quite sure. But I really like it. I really like the way this one turned out. I also have Hatsuri and Momiji from Fruits Basket, and then Maka from Soul Eater, and then this is Lucy from Fairy Tail. This was the first video that I made with the new editing style that I have, so that was really fun. Here's at that same bagel shop, coffee shop thing that I went and sat at. I wanted to draw this part of it because I don't draw things like this like ever. So I sketched it while I was there, and then I threw on the base layer of gouache while I was there, and then I came home and touched it up. It's still very messy, but I do like it. It was definitely my first time drawing something like this, so that being said, I think it turned out nice. I do wish that I was able to spend a little more time on it though, maybe go back and finish it, but I didn't. So I made a video redesigning one of my OCs, and this was a page that I did before all that. I threw the gouache on there again because I don't want to waste it, and then after I designed her, I came back and drew her on top of it because I thought she would look nice. This isn't her final design, and like I said in that video, it's more of just like revamping her, and then as I draw her more as a character, her design is just going to naturally change. And I've already made some changes based off of critiques that you guys have given in the comments of that video, and I also let you guys name her. So here she is. Her name is Robin. And thank you to everyone who suggested names and voted on Instagram. That was definitely a lot of fun. I really liked it. And I've been drawing her a lot. I just have had so much fun drawing her. I really love the way that her design turned out. And then here's some of the pages from that video. I believe it's 2 spreads. Yeah, there's 2 different spreads. This one is just basically me redrawing her old thing, making immediate changes, and then I go more in depth of what parts of her I think needed changing and making it more detailed. This was the one that made me fall in love with this design, and so that's kind of why I kept it, and I still really like it. I think it's adorable. So things that have changed is that the red has gotten a lighter color. These I still haven't decided a color on. Someone said that they think that there's a little bit too much black, and I agree, but I've tried making them different colors, but I haven't liked any of them. And then her eyes are also green, again, from a comment in that video. Here's a little drawing of her that I made while I was editing, and I think I was waiting for this small file to export, but video exporting takes a while, so it was still taking a couple minutes, and so I just doodled that and stuck it in here. Because here I was testing out color schemes, and I didn't like this one, and so I just taped that in to help cover that up. And yeah, I was doodling her more. I decided to put her in the same universe as Arietta. And then I also really like this tiny little one. You're just kind of trying to get to figure out how they'd interact with each other. Here's Micah and Jackson, two characters that I'd literally never ever draw, and someone commented, I think it was in my video about my characters not dating, someone commented asking if I have any characters that are dating, and someone mentioned them, and I was like, wow, you're dedicated, because I literally never draw them. I think I haven't drawn them since Sketchbook 8, so it's been a hot minute. I really like the way this one turned out though, I love it actually. I think it's quite nice. Here's my second to last page, goal recap. I didn't accomplish shit because I didn't. I think one of them was character interactions, which I think I kind of accomplished, but this was mostly just a sketchbook. Not that it's bad, I really like the sketchbook, but it was just more like, I was less working in it and more just hobbying in it, if that made any sense. Like a lot of my other sketchbooks, I'm actively trying to improve on something, but in here I was just kind of doing whatever I felt like, which has its benefits as well as its downfalls. Overall, I'm really happy with it. I drew Andy, because of course I did. I actually haven't been drawing them a whole lot lately, so this was fun. I like this outfit a lot too. It was just something I made up for this drawing, but it might be something I draw them in a little bit more. And then I drew their whole gang of characters down here. Love it. They're still not dating. This was a fun time. And then this one, which I actually filmed the same day I'm filming this one. I wanted to make something a little bit more glorious as my last page. I talked about in my other one, I don't really like this drawing too much, but it's still nice to have a finished illustration at the back of my sketchbook because I never do that. And then my initials in the back. Also, at the end of all of my sketchbook tours, I do something to abuse this sketchbook. I'll like throw it or something. But this one's a little too special for that. So you're gonna get some special treatment, buddy. Also, ignore the temporary audio change. It's fine. It's fine. Sleep tight, buddy. Excuse me, Lily. Can you go? It's time for it to go to bed. Come on. Move. Move. Go. Disrespectful. Go. 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 Move. No. Leave. Good night. That's it. There we go. I hope it was worth the wait. Normally at the end of these videos, I also give you a preview of the sketchbook that I'm working in next. I'll show you like a page or two that I've been working on. But in this one, I'm going to avoid doing that. I like to keep things fun and exciting and surprising, so I don't talk about things really. I don't like talking about my next videos all the time, even if it isn't really a big deal. Just to keep it fun, just to mix it up. But I will say that the next one is a review of a very popular sketchbook here on YouTube, so I'm looking forward to sharing that with you guys. I've already started working in that sketchbook as of recording this, so I actually started that one before finishing this one, but it's fine. It's okay. It would be like that. You can do that. It's fine. But I've been enjoying working in it so far, and I'm really looking forward to sharing it with you guys, and give this video a thumbs up if you liked this sketchbook. Again, like I said, I'm really sad to see it go, but also at the same time, thank God, because I've been working on it for like 5 months. Let me know what your favorite drawings in this sketchbook were. I definitely had a lot of favorites. And if you are new here, consider subscribing. I post new videos every single Wednesday, and then other videos whenever I can, just whenever I have the time. I draw a lot of my original characters, as you could probably tell from this video, but I also draw fan art occasionally, so if those are things that you're interested in, subscribe. You can also follow me on any social media that will be on screen now and linked in the description box below. If you could follow me on Instagram, that is where I would most recommend that you could follow me, because that is where I post my art. I post a lot of sketchbook stuff, so if you follow me on Instagram, you would have already seen a good handful of these drawings, but if not, then it's no big deal, don't worry about it. And there will also be some videos on screen now and in the iCard for you to check out if you want, because again, I'd really appreciate it. That would be awesome. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next week for that sketchbook review. Bye.